Hello there, Lillian. Okay, sorry for the small delay. It's usually a faster turnaround. Um, so let's have a look at your work. I'm really surprised we couldn't get you to a 6.5, but hopefully we can work through this and we'll get you there eventually. Right then, the issue of democracy has grown in importance since the advent of globalization. Good. Some people believe that it has posed the most severe threat since it emerged, while others and I think citizens could not control their governments because of international markets. Okay, so say we'll discuss both sides of the issue using examples from Taipei and Greece. So 3 issues with this paragraph. First of all, tense. Yeah? That it poses, okay, and we keep it in the present simple, and we use third person singular, that it poses the most severe threat, or we say it has posed, okay? Small issues like this will cost you points. The second point, let's see, both sides, yeah? And we can't make mistakes in sentences like this, yeah? These are copy-paste sentences that we just adapt to the paragraph, to the essay topic. This essay will look at both sides using examples from Taipei and Greece. Okay, so give me, write out 10, no, make it 20 different copy-paste sentences like this, adapted to different questions. Okay, and I'll send you a resource to get those questions, and then just write out 20 sentences. This essay will discuss these issues using examples from Germany and Holland. This essay will discuss these issues using examples from the British government and Harvard University, or whatever it is, okay? Just get into the habit of writing grammatically perfect sentences. Let's have a look. On the one hand, there is ample evidence, good, that democracy is facing many challenges from the economy and politics, okay? The economy, because there's only one economy. Right, delete this because it's not necessary. Yeah, and I want your writing to be clearer, more direct. So we can just rip out phrases like this. Now, so we're going to start with this. Most leaders, we don't need of countries, yeah? Or most country leaders, I guess. Okay, most leaders of countries are from wealthy families, such as Donald Trump. Their country's decisions would be impacted by their own financial interests. No. If you're using would, then we're using a conditional, and it's not that. We're just saying most countries' decisions are made for their own financial interest rather than the common citizens' interest. Comma. This leads to a contaminated democracy. Okay. Another reason is that democracy would be destroyed by political struggles. So once again, we've used would incorrectly. So I can see now why we're not reaching the 6.5. What I strongly recommend is you go back to the course, have a look at the template right at the beginning. Okay, the basic bare bones template, and start writing a little bit more basic. Okay, and we're going to go for clarity. And avoid using would for now because we haven't got it 100% under control. So you've got 2 options. You either study it like crazy, okay, and completely dominate it, or you drop it, okay, and just take that into account before you use it again. And I'll send you some resources to learn about it. Next one. It is not uncommon that citizens be deceived. Okay, It is not uncommon that citizens are deceived and manipulated by parties. For example, Taipei's democratic development has been in a mess for a long time because of disordered battles, or because of battles between various parties. Okay, you see, this is an afterthought. What we really want to do is follow the template in the course, okay? And I can, I'll send you that. I'll send you the template, okay? On the other hand, the leaders and electorates are losing their opportunities to continue to persist in democracy due to the international markets. This is largely because electorates cannot make immediate and right decisions in a short time when countries suffer from complex and changeable international markets, which might result in an undemocratic condition. Good. Maybe situation is the better word there. For instance, Greece had to decide how to face the various variations of international markets in a few hours when they gave up democracy in 2011. Okay, so very complex sentence. You can avoid these sentences, the complex ones, by following the simple structure that I'm going to send you. Okay? Therefore, it is clear that democracy has been threatened by international markets. In conclusion, from the arguments and examples given, I firmly believe that it is obvious that democracy is in an urgent situation, should be improved and refined. An international market should bear responsibility for it. In the future, there will be many explorations and modifications of the democratic system. Okay. Good work. I think if we're using the framework, if we're using the simple framework for the essay, I'm pretty certain we can get to 6.5. Next one. The two charts illustrate what the percentage of different types of car ownership in England and Scotland were in 1995 and how many VW owners from 1990 to 1998 in those two areas. Good. Overall, it is obvious that buying cars was the most popular way for the two areas, and that car owners of England was highest during. That's wrong, isn't it? Car owners of England was most during the no, car owners were most in Scotland. There's clearly more yellow than blue, so that's a fatal error. Okay. As for the car ownership in England, good transition there. People who shared cars were only 15%, which was the least, while the figures of renting and buying cars was the same. Ah, okay, maybe it was there. Even then it shows that Scotland bought more cars, so be careful. Let's see. In Scotland, there was the least owners choosing to lease cars, 15%, good, which was less by 20% compared to. Okay, so you need to really get a control of your comparison sentences. Okay? Really master this because it's key. So you need to be looking at more than and less than. Yeah? Find out some perfectly written sentences that are comparing different sources, and then write them out and just learn their structures, memorize their structure. Okay? And I'll send a resource for you to find perfectly written comparative structures. Yeah. However, the percentage of people buying cars in Scotland was more than almost twice as many in England, which was 65%. Okay, good. As for the sales of cars in England, there were 275 cars sold in 1990. This figure decreased by 400,000. Okay, so if it decreased by 400,000, that means there is minus 130,000. So this decreased by 40,000, I think was the right one, and even dropped to 200,000, which was the lowest in 1995. Good. Well, it soared to 1997 when it was... Okay, full stop here because we've put enough information into this sentence. Good for the comparison though, good use of the comparison. So we're just deleting that last bit. In 1998, okay, in Scotland there were 190,000 sales in 1990, comma, and this number increased to 200,000 in 1994 when it peaked. Good. At last, the sales in Scotland, finally, the sales in Scotland were 150,000 in 1998 when it hit its bottom. Okay, that's okay for now. So what I'm going to do is send you some resources for the. I'm going to send you The Economist, and I want you to look, cover, write, which means you look at a sentence and then you write it out from memory. Okay, do this. Do about 10 or 20 of these, sentence by sentence. Also master the comparative structure that I mentioned. Okay, so that's your task for part 1 for the graph description. And then your other homework is to write out about 10 of these sentences, because we want that perfect, and I'll give you 250 questions from which you can do that. And also you need to learn inside out how to use would. Okay, and I'll send some resources for that as well. Okay, Lillian, grab a pen, because I want you to message me on WhatsApp whenever you send me an essay. Okay, and my number is +34 670 806 051, and then once you send a message, once you send an email with your essay, send me a WhatsApp message as well. Also, I want to see this one corrected. Implement all the corrections you've heard. Make a list of mistakes, and then send me your corrected essay, your error list, and your 2 new essays. Okay. All right. Let's keep moving. You're doing well.